to another live stream by Michael Reed. This is a place where we just like to slow things down a little bit. Get our guidance and our wisdom from the ancient books. And today we will be continuing with Seneca's on the shortness of life, with the chapters 9 and 10. Let me see if I can find them. I'm just still setting up here, so I'll just wait for more people to join in this live stream. Welcome everyone. Hopefully you can see and hear me clearly. So as I do my setup, if you could get yourselves ready, grab yourself a drink, and please join in the discussion. And I will be sort of giving out shout outs to you. So please let me know in the comment section where you are watching from. So chapters 9 and 10 on the shortness of life. Two short chapters with a very direct question underneath them. Are we actually living now or constantly preparing to live later? So as you come in, please tell me in the chat, what is the one thing you keep saying I'll do when life calms down? Is it a trip or a creative project? A difficult conversation? Is it rest? Could be anything. Please let us know. Let's have a conversation going. So if you enjoy thoughtful reading spaces like this, please follow the page. Tap the like button on the screen and share this live stream with one person who would enjoy sitting with the big question tonight. If you are watching on the replay, leave your answer in the comments as well, please. You know, we will come back to them in future. No comments will be left unread. So let's take a breath. You do not have to sort your whole life in a day. We're just here to read carefully and notice what the text brings up. So up to this point, if it's your first time joining us, we're on chapters 9 and 10. We've covered chapters 1 to 9, and I've laid them out on a playlist, all on the channel, easy for you to find, easy for you to follow. And we have done other books already as well, and we've got a lot more to do. So yeah, subscribe to the channel, Michael Reads. But up to this point on this book, Seneca has argued that life is not necessarily too short. Rather, we often allow it to be scattered, claimed by distraction, status, and other people's demands, and endless busyness. So chapter 9 sharpens that argument. Chapter 10 turns into a reflection on time itself. So before we begin, do you think planning for the future is wisdom avoidance? Or is it wisdom, or is it avoidance, or is it both? So if you could put wisdom or avoidance or both in the chat so that we can have a little discussion there when the time comes. Chapter 9 opens with an attack on a familiar habit. So being so busy preparing for a better life that we spend the life we already have. So I will go into the reading of chapter 9 from the book on the shortness of life. Let me see if I can find this. And hello, True Hurt. How are you? So, chapter 9. Can anything be mentioned which is more insane than the ideas of leisure of those people who boast of their worldly wisdom? They live laboriously in order that they may live better. They fit themselves out for life at the expense of life itself and cast their thoughts a long way forwards. Yet postponement is the greatest waste of life. It wrings day after day from us and takes away the present by promising something hereafter. There is no such obstacle to true living as waiting, which loses today while it is depending on the morrow. You dispose of that which is in the hand of fortune, and you let go that which is in your own. Whither are you looking? Whither are you stretching forward? Everything future is uncertain. Live now straight away. See how the greatest of bards cries to you and sings in wholesome verse as though inspired with celestial fire. The best of wretched mortals' days is that which is the first to fly. Why do you hesitate? Says he. Why do you stand back? Unless you seize it, it will have fled, and even if you do seize it, it will still fly. Our swiftness in making use of our time ought therefore to be from the swiftness of time itself, and we ought to drink of it as we should of a fast running torrent, which will not be always running. The poet, too, admirably satirizes our boundless thoughts when he says, not the first age, but the first day. Why are you careless and slow while time is flying so fast? And why do you spread out before yourself a vision of long months and years, as many as your greediness requires? He talks with you about one day, and that a fast fleeting one. There can, then, be no doubt that the best days are those which fly first, for wretched, that is, for busy mortals, whose minds are still in their childhood when old age comes upon them, and they reach it unprepared and without arms to combat it. They have never looked forward. They have all of a sudden stumbled upon old age. They never noticed that it was stealing upon them day by day. As conversation or reading or deep thought deceives travelers, and they find themselves at their journey's end before they knew that it was drawing near. So, in the fast and never ceasing journey of life, which we make at the same pace whether we are asleep or awake, busy people never notice that they are moving till they are at the end of it. Seneca's central claim here is not simply don't plan. It's sharper when your entire life becomes all about preparation for a future version of life. The present becomes disposable. So, what does I'll live when sound like in modern life? Is there a difference between healthy patience and endless postponement? And what do we gain by planning? What can we lose? Have you ever reached a goal and immediately moved to the finish line? Let's have a discussion, please. Leave your comments in the comment section or in the community page. I'd appreciate that. But I think this chapter lands because many of us are not inactive. We are exhausted. We may be working, studying, caring for people, building something, surviving something. So the author's warning is not that effort is wrong. The question is whether effort has become a way of never arriving in our own lives. Notice also how he narrows the scale. He he does not say that life escapes one decade at a time. He says the day escapes. That is uncomfortable, but it can also be freeing. We do not need a perfect 5 year plan in order to make one part of today more intentional. So take a few seconds out of your time and ask yourself, what am I postponing that could begin in a very small way this week? Don't type it if it feels private, just name it to yourself. Encourage more thought. So, chapter 9 is about the danger of living permanently in the future. Chapter 10, which we will be going into shortly, asks if the future is uncertain and the present is fleeting, where can we find any stable relationship with time? So, Seneca, the author, now divides life into three periods: what has been, what is, and what will be. So I will go into chapter 10 with a reading. If I chose to divide this proposition into separate steps, supported by evidence, many things occur to me by which I could prove that the lives of busy men are the shortest of all. For Fabianus, who was one of your lecture room philosophers, but one of the true antique pattern, used to say, we ought to fight against the passions by main force, not by skirmishing and upset their line of battle by a home charge, not by inflicting trifling wounds. I do not approve of dallying with sophisms. They must be crushed, not merely stretched. Yet, in order that sinners may be confronted with their efforts, they must be taught and not merely mourned for. Life is divided into three parts: that which has been, that which is, and that which is to come. Of these three stages, that which we are passing through is brief, that which we are about to pass is uncertain, and that which we have passed is certain. This is over which fortune has lost her rights, and which can fall into no other man's power. And this is what busy men lose, for they have no leisure to look back upon the past, and even if they had, they take no pleasure in remembering what they regret. They are, therefore, unwilling to turn their minds to the contemplation of ill spent time, and they shrink from reviewing a course of action whose faults become glaringly apparent when handled a second time, although they are snatched at when we were under the spell of immediate gratification. No one, unless all his acts have been submitted to the infallible censorship of his own conscience, willingly turns his thoughts back upon the past. He who has ambitiously desired, haughtily scorned, passionately vanquished, treacherously deceived, greedily snatched, or prodigally wasted much, must needs fear his own memory. Yet this is a holy and consecrated part of our time, beyond the reach of all human accidents, removed from the dominion of fortune, and which cannot be disquieted by want, fear, or attacks of sickness. This can neither be troubled nor taken away from one. We possess it for ever undisturbed. Our present consists only of single days, and those, too, taken 1 hour at a time, but all the days of past times appear before us when bidden and allow themselves to be examined and lingered over, albeit busy men cannot find time for so doing. It is the privilege of a tranquil and peaceful mind to review all the parts of its life, But the minds of busy men are like animals under the yoke and cannot bend aside or look back. Consequently, their life passes away into vacancy, and as you do no good, however much you may pour into a vessel which cannot keep or hold what you put there, so also it matters not how much time you give men if it can find no place to settle in, but leaks away through the chinks and holes of their minds. Present time is very short, so much so that to some it seems to be no time at all, for it is always in motion and runs swiftly away. It ceases to exist before it comes, and can no more brook delay than can the universe or the host of heaven, whose unresting movement never lets them pause on their way. Busy men, therefore, possess present time alone, that being so short that they cannot grasp it, and when they are occupied with many things, they lose even this. Which feels more difficult for you? Is it dwelling in the past, or is it staying in the present, or worrying about the future? Why might someone avoid looking back on their life? And can the past be a resource without becoming a prison? And what makes a memory worth returning to? Let's have some discussions about these. So Seneca's image of um, of the mind is of the mind as a vessel is powerful. If there is nowhere for experience to settle, no reflection, no attention, no meaning making, then time can pass through us without seeming to become part of a life. That does not mean every moment must be productive or profound. It may mean we need moments where we can actually register what is happening to us. So let's take a step back and give these chapters a fair reading. Not only what is inspiring about them, but also where we should question Seneca, the author. Here is what Seneca argues well. First, Seneca is exceptionally clear about the cost of perpetual deferral. A future focused life can become a life that never feels present. His point remains recognizable in a culture of productivity, self optimization, notifications, and always having another milestone ahead. Second, he gives us a useful distinction. Future time is uncertain, present time is tiny and always in motion, while the past cannot be taken away in the same way. He is not saying we can own time like property. He's saying that a reflected on life gives us something that can be revisited, understood, and integrated. So third, he does not merely criticize people for being busy. He asks what their busyness is for. That question is still valuable. Are commitments serving a life we recognize as our own, or are they simply filling every available space? However, the author can sound harsher than many lives deserves. Not everyone postpones life because of vanity or poor priorities. People may be dealing with financial pressure, illness, caregiving, discrimination, unstable work, grief, or responsibilities they did not choose. Telling someone to live now can become shallow if it ignores all of those realities. So his contrast between the wise person and the engrossed person can also be too neat. Some work is meaningful, some ambition supports families, communities, art, and public service. Planning is not the enemy. The problem is when planning consumes every possibility of presence. So finally, his celebration of the past is not uncomplicated. Looking back can bring wisdom and gratitude, but it can also bring pain, regret, or trauma. So reflection should be an invitation, not a demand. A person does not need a flawless past in order to live meaningfully now. So perhaps the balanced takeaway is the author is right to warn us about uh, against making the future our permanent residence. But the answer is not impulsiveness, guilt, or abandoning responsibility. It is to make room, however small, for attention, reflection, and a life that is not always postponed. That's what I think. So, which idea are you taking from these chapters? Are you going to start now? Are you going to reflect more? Are you going to plan differently? Or be gentler with yourself? So, tonight, the author leaves us with two challenges. Don't hand today over entirely to tomorrow, and don't let your life pass so quickly that you never have a chance to understand it. So, for this week, try a small practice. Take 5 minutes at the end of one day and ask, what did I actually what did I actually live today? Did you do anything for yourself? Did you do what you really wanted to do or what you would have loved to do? Uh, Ask yourself, what did I postpone? What is the one small thing I can bring back into the present tomorrow? It will help with developing your habits. And sometimes a small habit repeated over time could lead to something great, if it is a good habit, that is. So if this reading gave you something to sit with, please follow me on Michael Reads. Please, if you could, like the live stream and share it with a reader, thinker, or friend who you know may need this conversation. Comment with the word present if you are choosing one small way to be more present this week. So thank you for reading with me. Thank you for joining with me. It's not the most interesting or exciting channel on YouTube, but I am trying. I am, keeping going. I'm trying to remain persistent. Persistent. I have plans. I need to um, take heed of some of the things that are said in this chapter, because postponing things is one of those things that I need to personally um, stop doing and just sort of live. So on this journey on Michael Reads, I'm not an expert. I'm just a person who loves to read books in front of you, and we have a little discussion. I tell you what I think, but I'd love to hear what you think. So please make use of the comment section. Um, but yeah, like I said, thank you for reading with me. Be kind to yourself as you reflect. This isn't about judging every minute of your time, it's about noticing that your life is already happening. So I will see you on the next chapters. We will be doing chapters 11 and 12 in a couple of days at the same time. Uh, but I'm already making plans for the next book that we're going to cover, and I guarantee you it is going to be great. So please share this channel with people you would like to benefit from these discussions. And as well, I will be sort of putting out there what book I'm doing next so that it gives you a chance. I'll do it early rather than do a reveal and then go straight into it, so that it gives you a chance to, if you could, purchase the book so that we can read together. Um, but I thank you for joining me on here, and I look forward to seeing you all on the next one. So thank you, take care, and bye bye.